Welcome to Sports Talk.
Hello and welcome. I'm Nick.
I'm Mike.
Sports. Today we're going over the Philadelphia Eagles 2021 NFL Draft Grade. Mike, Philly, man, you're a Phillies fan. All right. I don't think they disappointed this year. Going with Devonta Smith, a receiver that I was very high on for the first time in years. They maybe took the right choice this time, right? They didn't go with J.J. Arcega-Whiteside or Jalen Reagor. They finally go and they take a guy that I think we both like in Devonta Smith. Let's hop right into it. Let's go to it. First pick, Devonta Smith. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm a fan of the pick. I think they finally went out and got themselves a receiver that has very, very reliable hands. Devonta Smith does not drop the football, and I think that's what the Eagles needed after going year after year, being right up there with the top of the league in drops, passes, and terrible wide receiver play. So this is a good pick for the Eagles. Finally, they get their guy. They should not have had to go wide receiver this year because they missed on one the last 2 years of DK Metcalf and Justin Jefferson, but they had to go wide receiver, and I'm totally okay with the pick. He's a playmaker. The guy won the Heisman. I mean, he won the Heisman at the wide receiver position. Had a historic college season. I like everything about this kid, Devonta Smith, except for his size. I'd like to see him put on a little bit of muscle. But other than that, I think he's a full package. I think he can do it all at the wide receiver position.
And you know me, one of the first things I usually look at is size, right? I'm always concerned with the guy not being the biggest guy in the just he looks so skinny. It reminds me of Robbie Anderson, how skinny he is. The thing about Devonta Smith is I did not put this against him. It was something special. When I turned on this guy's film, it was something special. It was like every time I watched it, I was like, holy crap. When I first saw Devonta Smith, I said, this guy is not going to be a top receiver for me, just off his build, right? I said, there's no way I put this guy on the top of my list. And as I watched more and more film, it was inevitable that he was going to be a top 5 receiver. Then it just got higher and higher and higher. And he ended up being my second best wide receiver. In my nose, it said one of the most productive receiver in college football over the last 2 seasons. Run good routes, but I would not say the greatest routes in college football. Yeah, runs pretty dang good routes. So not the fastest either, but this guy will go up and get footballs that are contested. He has a great vertical and can high point the football, probably better than any receiver I have seen in a long time. The only concern, in my opinion, is his weight. Look, people said Jamar Chase. People said this guy, that guy. All these receivers are going to be better than him. I think Devonta Smith was the second best receiver in football. I had him above Jamar Chase. The only guy I had higher than him, and people are going to say I'm crazy, is Teelan Wallace. I was a huge fan of Teelan Wallace. I think that he's going to excel in the National Football League, even though he went to a team like the Baltimore Ravens. Not the greatest quarterback. I would love to see Philadelphia. Hopefully Jalen Hurts is going to be good. We'll have to wait and see. But if he can do anything, Devonta Smith is going to excel in this offense. I'm a huge fan of Devonta Smith. Think he was a very talented receiver in this draft. Not the greatest route runner, not the fastest guy. Some people will say, well, he's small too. He's not great. This guy, in my opinion, as a prospect, is absolutely better than Jamar Chase. Write that one down, jot it down. I love this kid. Going to Philly, going with Jalen Hurts, might hurt his career trajectory. We'll have to wait and see what the Philadelphia Eagles organization does. You know, Howie Roseman does some questionable things, but I am an absolute big fan of Devonta Smith. Let's go to the next guy, Landon Dickerson.
Yeah, Landon Dickerson. I think this is a good pick also. He was my number 1 ranked center. I think Landon Dickerson will fit in this offense good after Jason Kelce retires. The Eagles got a aging offensive line and an injury-prone offensive line, so we know that. So they can always go at depth here. The problem with Landon Dickerson, he's coming off an ACL injury. I like everything he can do on the field, but he is injury-prone. He's had a college career full of injury, major injury issues in college. And you don't like to see that coming into the NFL. So this is a risk. It's definitely a risk pick. But when he's on the field, I think he's arguably the best. He was the best center in college football, in my opinion. Who knows? This year he might get some work at guard. If he's healthy, he might play guard this year for the Eagles. So this is another pick. I'm a fan of this pick. The only real main concern for me is his injury history. But other than that, he is solid. He's a very solid center. He's smart on the football field. He's a quality leader. All things you need on an offensive line.
Absolutely. Look, Devonta Smith, too, I do want to go back. I did give that grade an A for that individual pick. As we go for Landon Dickerson, look, he was also my number 2 center. So you got the second best wide receiver, in my opinion, and you get the second best center. I actually have it listed, interior offensive line. He was the best center in this draft, okay?
Center, yes.
So when I look at him, I said, as a center, this kid is probably the best one in the draft. Seals off defenders in the run game and is great in the pass game. One question is his strength. Got pushed back at times, but was it because of his injury? Going to be a solid player. Look, when I see him having a big knee brace on his leg and I see him getting blown back at times on film, I said maybe that's because of his injury, right? Maybe that's not his strength, or maybe it is. Okay, I don't know exactly what was going on, okay, with Landon Dickerson. I know he has a long injury history. Look, love the kid, love the player, would probably be an A+ draft pick if it wasn't for his injury history and you guys didn't have Jason Kelce. I know Jason Kelce getting up there in age, but look, great guy, great kid. If he's healthy after Jason Kelce's done, this guy would probably be one of, again, if healthy, I think he's going to be a really great center in the National Football League. You're going to give him 1 to 2 years maybe to learn behind Kelce, or maybe just stick him in maybe at guard, right? That's a possibility. I love the pick. I love the pick. I'm going to give it a B, though. Not the biggest need right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Injury concerns, but love the pick for the future. Has a lot of potential. Sky's the limit for somebody like Landon Dickerson. Let's go to the next guy, Milton Williams. Go ahead.
Milton Williams, he was my second-ranked defensive tackle. He compared like physicals. I remember you brought this
Aaron
up.
Donald.
Up to Aaron Donald. He kind of plays like Aaron Donald. It's hard to compare somebody to Aaron Donald coming out of the draft, but Milton Williams kind of did remind you of him. Watching Milton Williams play in college, you look like a star. You look like a guy that with some good coaching and getting adjusted to the NFL can be a star. He looked like he could do a little bit of everything to me. He looked like he could blow up the run, rush the quarterback. It's a little small. What is he, 6'3"? What do you have him listed? I got him listed 6'3", 285.
According to my Excel sheet, give me 1 second. Milton Williams, I have listed as 6'3", 284.
Yeah, that's what I have him too. So, yeah, I was very impressed in Milton Williams. The thing that impressed me the most was he's just an absolutely phenomenal athlete. And to have a phenomenal athlete at the defensive tackle position can be scary. He's going to learn he's going to sit there behind good guys, probably going to get in because, you know, the Eagles, they rotate their defensive linemen. We don't know what Gannon will do with the defense, but in the past, they've rotated their defensive linemen. He's going to be with Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave in the defensive tackle room. You can't get many better guys than that. So I'm excited to see how this kid turns out. I think he's got all the potential in the world. I'm a fan of this pick also.
Mike, I couldn't say it better myself. And look, this is why the Eagles may have won the draft. Okay, let me start with this. Number one thing is, remember I said second best receiver, second best center, well, second best interior offensive lineman, best center in the draft, and then you go out and, in my opinion, get the second best defensive tackle in this draft in the third round. So you won in the first round. You won in the second round, and now I think you're winning in the third round. As it's small school and does not offer anything special besides his physicals, this kid has a ton of talent, and there are a ton of links between him and Aaron Donald, measurables-wise. This guy is good in the pass, good in pass and run game, and is extremely fast for a defensive tackle. This kid can be special. Most polished, no, but does he have a ton of potential? Absolutely. Look, you mentioned his physicals, and I'm gonna share my screen. This is the only video I'm gonna actually do this because it is kind of alarming how close he is ranked to somebody like Aaron Donald. Can you see this?
Hold on. I'm on another page.
All right. So what we're looking at here is, you can see it, right?
Yeah.
So what you're seeing is that out of all the guys, I use this website, it shows you how they compare to each player physical wise. And the number one guy is Aaron Donald. Number two is Taven Bryan, and you see Geno Atkins. Two of those three guys you really want to be compared to. One of them, Taven Bryan, never really panned out. But look, let's look and see what it says. You look at his height. He's a 50th percentile. You look at his bench press, 87th, 20-yard shuttle, 93rd, three cone, 99th, broad jump, 99th, vertical jump, 99th, 40-yard dash, 99th, 20-yard split, 94th. And you look at his 10-yard split, 10th percentile. Great percentiles, physical beast. The issue is when you look at the height, weight, arm length, and hand size, it too, all of them are on the lower end. So he's not that typical defensive tackle size-wise. But again, when you put all this into a big, giant melting pot and you say, who is it? Well, it compares to Aaron Donald, 68.2% match to someone like Aaron Donald. That excites me. And I'm not saying this is going to be the next Aaron Donald. It probably never will be. But the film, again, he's not the most polished guy in the world. He's not this crazy, using these swim moves and these rip moves and getting through. But if he gets through, which he does often using his pure strength and physicality, he's going to get to the get to the quarterback. Why? Not because I looked at his 40-yard dash and I fell in love, but in all reality, the reason why is because on the film room, when I watched him in film, he looked really fast. When we look at his 40-yard dash, the guy ran a 4.67. That is by far the fastest 40 time by any of the defensive tackles. Look, I'm a big fan of this kid. Huge fan of this kid. We'll wait and see what happens. I grade this pick an A. Small school kid. I think he has a lot to prove in the NFL, but he was my second favorite defensive tackle in this year's draft. So I give this pick an A. Ton of potential. Can't go wrong with it. I'm going to go to the next guy, Zach McPherson. Anything on him?
I didn't scout him, but people said that was a good value pick, but I did not.
I don't know him either. So again, you're an Eagles fan, so you probably know more about him. Know anything really special about anything at all that you've been hearing, at least? Not from scouting, but from hearing?
Texas Tech, I read that he had 100-something tackles, 2 forced fumbles. They said he'll immediately come into Philadelphia and compete for a slot corner role.
Okay, so we'll wait and see. Next guy, I'm pretty sure we both scouted, Kenneth Gainwell. Go ahead.
Yep. I think he was my 5th or 6th ranked running back. I don't have the list in front of me right now. But Kenneth Gainwell brings a unique skill set. He can just flat out catch the football. He can line up as a wide receiver, run routes. He is probably the best pure receiving back in this draft. But you don't know if he's going to fit into the Eagles rotation right away because, Miles Sanders is obviously going to probably be the workhorse. And then you got Boston Scott there still. So you don't know if he's going to have an opportunity right away. But, for a 5th round pick, I still don't mind the pick because it gives you this guy's probably going to give you a big I can't talk. He's going to make a big impact on special teams for the Eagles. And then he's one injury away, really, from getting an opportunity to be a running back on this team. There's things he could do better. He could be a better actual runner of the football. He really only had one big year in college, but he can catch the ball. And, in the NFL these days, they look for running backs that can consistently catch the football. So that just gives him another weapon in the offense. I don't mind it picking the 5th round at all.
Yeah. Look, Kenneth Gainwell, he was my 11th ranked running back. You drafted him all the way in the 5th round. I look at this guy as that gadget back. Look, my first notes I wrote down about this guy, I said, this kid is a receiver who can also play running back. So this guy, when you watch his film, catching the ball, doing this, doing that, extremely valuable. I said it makes him extremely valuable as a receiving back, but not so much as a workhorse, right? Miles Sanders is your workhorse. You didn't draft him to be your workhorse. As a very explosive and uses a nasty spin move, do not underestimate a spin move. Again, I really emphasize that spin move. It was special on film. That kept on sticking out to me that he was able to do this crazy spin. I do have him as the best receiving back in this draft. That doesn't mean that he can't run the football. He can too. But I'm going to list him down as a majority of a receiving back. That's not a bad thing. I think he can run the ball, but he's not going to be that workhorse initially, right? He's going to be that guy, line him up. You can line him up in the slot. You can do whatever you want with this guy. Give it to him on a jet sweep, however you want to use him. I'm excited to see how Nick Sirianni is going to use him, especially
like Darren Sproles kind of.
Absolutely. I have him ranked as the 11th ranked running back because you know how hard it is to take a bunch of running back prospects and rank them. That doesn't mean that he's the 11th best running. It's hard to use running backs because if you use a running back properly, if you use Kenneth Gainwell to his strengths, he can be a top 5 running back in this draft, top 3, maybe even a top 2. Who knows? The thing is that when you put them all on a big platter, you got to say, well, who can do a little bit of everything the best, right? And then that's where you say, well, Najee Harris, well, Travis Etienne. Well, Kenneth Gainwell, if you use him as a receiving back that can run the ball here and there, he could explode out of the scene in Philadelphia if you use him properly. We'll have to wait and see, but I'm excited to see what they can do with him. Again, I grade this one a B+, a great pick for this late in the draft. 5th round pick. I'm excited to see what Kenneth Gainwell can do. Anything on Marlon Tuipulotu?
Yeah, no, Marlon Tuipulotu. I didn't scout, go in depth with him, but I did notice when he was the type of guy, when he came in, his job was to plug up a hole, and that's what he did. So, if he gets an opportunity to play in Philadelphia, which is going to be hard at the defensive tackle position, but that's probably how they're going to use him. They're going to say, go in there and stuff the run. But no, I didn't really go all out scouting him. Did you?
No, I did not. And it's probably going to be one of those filler guys. I don't know much about him. Again, I'm not going to make an opinion on a guy that I don't know much about, but it is nice to know what he is possibly used for. So that's good to hear. Taron Jackson,
Taron
Toronto.
Jackson from Coastal Carolina, but no, I don't think I
Me either.
don't
How
think
about Jacoby Stevens?
Jacoby Stevens? Yeah, he's like linebacker safety hybrid. I had him ranked on here somewhere. I think I scouted him as a safety. He was my 10th ranked, but I don't know what he's going to play in the NFL. He was kind of a guy who can make. I think he'll come into the NFL and be a special teamer early in his career. I remember him having decent coverage skills, not being afraid to light somebody up, but he's just probably not ready yet at this stage. I don't mind a pick in the 6th round, though. I mean, that's a good pick in my opinion.
Absolutely. And last but not least, Patrick Johnson.
No.
Okay. Look, those are the picks. Okay. We scouted. I mean, I think my final number was like 250 people. Some people we didn't scout. I mean, if they didn't go on my scouting board, you can't judge us for not scouting a guy. You can judge us on scouting a guy and it being improper. Although I think that we both really did it. I mean, we both really liked this draft from the Philadelphia Eagles. Go ahead. What's your draft grade? I got mine. Me and Mike tend to have the same as that draft grade on every single team. Let's see if we can finally break the trend here. I'll let you go first.
We might differ here. I was a big fan of the Devonta Smith pick. And then it goes to Landon Dickerson. I'm looking at the Eagles. I see a lot of needs. I'm seeing a need at cornerback. There were good cornerbacks there at pick 37 in the 2nd round. I think they should have probably leaned corner or a linebacker in the 2nd round with that pick. So I like the prospect. I don't necessarily love the pick. Milton Williams, I like Milton Williams' potential. But again, you have a huge need at defensive tackle. Not really, but I like the player. McPherson, don't know much about him. I like the Gainwell pick. So, I mean, looking at the Eagles, I like the prospects they took, but I think based off of needs, they could have done a better job. I'm going to give Philadelphia a B+. Howie Roseman did not do an awful job this year.
Yeah. And we're going to be close again. It was between a B+ and an A-, but I did go and I gave them an A-, which is tied for the highest draft grade so far with the Broncos and the Panthers. But actually, I do got the Eagles out of the ones that I actually scouted, the players I scouted, which again, I mean, Devonta Smith, Landon Dickerson, Milton Williams, and Kenneth Gainwell. Those players are the ones I'm doing my grade on. I don't know everybody else. I'm not going to give those guys a grade. But out of those players, I really loved the draft. Again, like you said, help the team now? Maybe not. But are the Eagles a win? I mean, that division is up for grabs. It really is. You know better than I do. It's up for grabs. Philly could make a push, but I think that they're building. They're clearly, I mean, Devonta Smith, my opinion, when you guys drafted him, one of the best receivers. I mean, if they took the guy, I thought they should have took, the world would have erupted. So Devonta Smith was the best guy according to in my opinion, that was a great pick. Then you got Landon Dickerson. I think is an excellent pick for the future. Not right now, but for the future. Milton Williams, if he is coached up the way I think he can be, that's a great pick. Kenneth Gainwell, if used properly by Nick Sirianni, great pick. So overall, really good draft in my opinion. Gave him an A-, tied for the highest draft grade with the Broncos and the Panthers in my opinion. Again, if you want to see our draft grades at the end of this series, we will be posting on Instagram with all of our draft grades for each team by each division. So you guys will be able to see that. But right now, Philadelphia is tied for my highest draft. That's all. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I like the draft for the future. I think they could have went linebacker. I think they could have went cornerback.
Absolutely. And go ahead.
Every single year at the linebacker position. So I was a little disgusted in the 2nd round when they didn't go linebacker. But overall, I'm excited to see how it pans out for them. I think they're good prospects. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the prospects. I just think I would have went and drafted a little bit differently.
No, and I agree because, look, again, I gave the Landon Dickerson pick a B, right? And I think this guy, honestly, is probably worth an A something. But 2nd round, not really a huge need. You got to give it a B. You guys would have got probably an A or something. You probably went, hey, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, I think he was still there, wasn't he? I had him ranked as my top linebacker in the draft. If you went with him, that would have been nuts. But that's all, guys. See you guys soon. We got coaching grades coming soon and a bunch of debates leading to the season. Watch our prior Philadelphia Eagles stuff. We got a few videos. Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts. Should they have stuck with Jalen Hurts over Carson Wentz? We'll wait and see. See you guys soon. Peace. We are
Built Better.
See you guys soon. Peace.